What is going on, everybody? Here we are, 5 decks for the Limit 1 Festival. This is a video where you see me on screen, but in reality, it's all PDS's behind the scenes. He's the puppet master behind these decks. I'm just the one presenting them. Let's get into it. The 5 decks I'm going to be showing. First one is Cancer. This is going to be the Eldritch / True Draco / the deck you don't want to face in this event. It's extremely cheap. There's no extra deck. It's going to be the last deck I go over because it's not really one I'm excited to go over. Check the timestamp down below or just watch the whole video and then we'll eventually get to it. We're going to talk about Tri-Brigade Zodiac. That's right, you can play Tri-Brigade Zodiac in this format. Invoked Zodiac. Sky Striker Tinyi Sword Soul. Jesus Christ, what a mouthful. And Highlander level 3 spam deck. Those are the 5 decks that we'll be watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Definitely make sure you're subscribed to the channel to make sure you're always up to date on the best decks to use, best information of the games, etc, etc, etc. Most of y'all watching ain't even subscribed. What the hell is that? Let's go, boys. Sub and help out the boys. Let's get into it. Number 1 that we're going to talk about, Highlander level 3. Now, this, the basic idea behind it is generally just Burning Abyss, right? Burning Abyss and Phantom Knight. We have hand traps as well, Effect Veiler, Maxi, any sort of hand traps or back row that you see played in these decks. I'm not going to talk about too much because you can honestly play whatever hand traps and back row you have, right? Because there's only limit 1 of all the cards, consistency is not key. So I'm not going to go over every little card that we play. I'm just going to go over the unique ones that these decks will be playing. This deck is very simple. We're going to be playing a lot of strong level 3 monsters like Sangan, Junk Forward, Tour Guide, the Burning Abyss monsters, Kagamucha Knight, and the idea is we're going to go into our extra deck monsters. Specifically, the Burning Abyss monsters have a lot of synergy with each other, allowing themselves to special summon from the hand if you have other Burning Abyss monsters. Of course, Tour Guide lets you get any level 3 or lower Fiend monster. Junk Forward, special summon a card from your hand. Sangan, add any monster with 1500 or less attack, which is pretty much all of your monsters. We have the Speedroid Terror Top, which is already a limit 1 card, so you can special summon this from your hand as well, get into those level 3 combos. Of course, the Phantom Knight package, super important. The Phantom Knights all work together, and they're all level 3 to continue those combos. Danger Jackalope, the Danger cards, and Danger Sukunochiko. I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry, man. Very, very strong to get those level 3s. The idea is you spam your board with much level 3s as possible. Psychic Wielder and Psychic Tracker allows themselves to summon each other as long as you control those level 3 psychic monsters, which they are, allowing you to go into your, actually, if you want any synchro plays potentially. I don't have any synchro cards in this deck right now, but they're there if you want to check it out. Virtual World Hime in here as well. We got the Phantom Knight Stained Greaves, Phantom Knight, all the Phantom Knight cards essentially are in here. Dino Wrestler Pankratops, he's just a very strong kind of generic card, level 7 for quick access pop play. Orbital Hydra Lander, if you have 5 or more monsters in your graveyard and no monsters in your graveyard with the same name, which is everybody, once per turn, you can send the top 3 of your graveyard, destroy 1 card in the field. Really good effect. Nibiru, Raigeki, Monster Reborn, Foolish, Reinforcements, Lightning Storm, these are all very common hand traps. Again, we're not going to go over those too in depthly for all the decks. Emergency Teleport to bring out a level 3 or lower psychic monster, which we play 3 of them, so that's pretty good for us. Call by, cross out, droplet, you guys know the drill. Phantom Knight Wings and Phantom Knights of the Shade Brigadine. These cards are actually going to be in a couple of our decks because they're actually pretty good in like a generic sense. Infinite Impermanence, Solemn Judgment, Phantom Knight Fogblade, Phantom Knight Sword. And the entire idea is you get into your extra decks who are playing a strong Xyz-based extra deck to bring out those level 3, and then, of course, level 4 with the Phantom Knight of Breaksword available as well. We just play the general Phantom Knight extra deck package. So we have Levier Dragon, we have Phantom Knight, Dowered Magician, we got Rongo Bongo, he's not that strong, but he's in here. Raiders Knight, Arc Rebellion Xyz, Divine Arsenal Zeus, Link Spider, Cherub Eben Angel of the Burning Abyss, the Phantom Knight Rusty, Apollosa, and of course that access code Talker. You can see we still have 3 extra deck slots. You can put honestly whatever you want in here. Heavily recommend level 3 Xyz monsters, but again, you do have some tuners for some potential synchro plays if you wanted to consider that. Really strong combo deck, lots of plays. You're going to be able to spam a lot of rank 3 monsters and even rank 4 monsters using your Break Blade, and of course you'll be able to go into Zeus very, very easily. So if you like combo decks, consider checking this one out. Next up, we have the Sky Striker Tinyi deck, and this deck is actually kind of wild. It's basically combining the Sky Striker, the Tinyis, and the Sword Souls all into one package to try and pretty much win through the extra deck, right? You've got Herald, you've got all your Yang Zing monsters, which actually end up usually being your boss monsters. You've got your Draco Berserker, you have Sword Soul Grandmaster, the Baron de Fleur, Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign, Sky Strikers, all the different Sky Striker unique monsters, the Monk of the Tinyi, the Shaman of the Tinyi, Barricode Blocker, and the Phantom Beast Auroradon. And the main decks are basically just combining the the decks of Strikers and of Sword Soul. A few extra cards in there. We have the Turbo Booster, just a couple of extra cards to kind of help the consistency a little bit, as well as getting, like, I guess, kind of a hand trap situation. Like for this card, for example, you could tribute this card, destroy a monster, and your opponent, your opponent controls that battled one of your monsters this turn. So you got a little bit of uniqueness in there as well. The Chuan for the Yang Zings, the Tinyis, or the Tinyi Sword Soul deck. If you have that deck, it essentially turns into this deck. Maxi, Mecha Phantom Beast, Lion. We have Earth of the Yang Zing in here as well. There's Terror Top again, Speedroid, Tankaborg, Ash Blossom. We got some punks in here. We're going to be using the punk engine. I think this is actually the first time I've ever recommended using the punk engine, but they're all super cheap, so keep that in mind. We've got Noah Punk. We have Suwani, Fire of the Yang Zin, of course, our Sky Strikers in here as well. Her and Rose, Ray and Rose are in here. We have the Water Tinyi Spirit, extremely powerful. So you can see a lot of these are powerful one-of summon cards that give you a good board, right? Sword Soul of Moye, Sword Soul of Taya, the Ecclesia, the Sword Soul Strategist, Tinyi Vajutta, Sword Soul of Shuna, Noah Punk Foxy Toon, Noah Punk Ogre Dance, and then, of course, all of the powerful staples: Feather Duster, Reborn, Reinforcement of the Army, Sky Striker Mobilize, Engage. Engage is really good when you have all these spell cards in your deck, and of course you're playing a Sky Striker, so why not? Vessel of the Dragon Cycle for that Tinyi support, Lightning Storm, Pot of Prosperity, Sword Soul Emergency Teleport, Call by the Grave, Sky Striker Mecha Hornet, Crossout Designator, Heavenly Dragon Circle, Infinite Impermanence, Sword Soul Blackout, Jorui Punk Dangerous, and of course the 9 Pillars of the Yang Zing. And then the extra deck is literally just a mix of all those cards that we talked about earlier. This deck kind of focuses on trying to get those very, very powerful one-of card strategies out there, right? If you bring out the Moye, if you bring out a Sky Striker, whatever the cards may be, that one summon is going to cause a full board for your deck, right? So you're not going to be summoning multiple monsters a turn. You'll probably only summon 1 to 2 monsters a turn, and those 1 to 2 monsters are going to end up on much larger boards. This is going to be a very powerful synchro/combo deck. And we'll have kind of that staying power with these Sky Strikers in there. So excited to see what this deck will end up doing. Next up, we have Invoked Zodiac. That's right, you heard me right, boys. We have Invoked Zodiac. This is just basically playing more of the Zodiac cards while adding Alistair the Invoker in there. You're playing basically one of all of the Zodiac cards, as well as some Dogmatica in there as well, mostly for the trap support, but Dogmatica in general just mixes very well with Invoke. They kind of go hand in hand with each other. So we're playing the Dogmatica package, the Invoke package, the Zodiac package, since they all do amazing one-of things, and a whole bunch of staples. Look at all these staples that we have listed here. We have Terraforming to search the Magical Meltdown, the different pots of Prosperity and Avarice to search multiple, or to draw multiple cards out of your deck. We're playing the Dark Ruler No More, which is a staple that we put in here to stop your opponent's cards from activating if you end up going second. Triple Tactics Talent, which is really good if your opponent uses a hand trap. You can, it has a bunch of whole different effects. Draw 2 cards, take control of an opponent, look at your opponent's hand, etc., etc., etc. Tinky searches basically the entire Zodiac engine. Amazing card to have in here. And then basically any traps that you have, you can toss in here. I've got Ring of Destruction, Torrential Tribute. I have Red Reboot. I have There Can Only Be One. You can put, any of the Mirror Forces in here as well. All of these traps that you see can basically be replaced with just strong trap presence, and it's pretty much the same win condition as the Invoked, right? You bring out your Mechaba, you bring out your you could bring out your Zodiac engine. It doesn't really matter. You've got the Elder Nistis in here to send away from your extra deck or the Ash, even the Titan Lord Ash, to send away from your extra deck to get their effects. You have all the invoked monsters, Purgatrio, Agrigis, the Mechaba. We have Wing Pegasus at Ignister. We have Psy-Frame Lord Omega. All of the Zoo extra deck monsters are in here as well. The Chalk 9, the Zeus himself, Secura Gardena, and the Almirage. And yeah, I mean, if you're playing this deck, you probably feel right at home. Just sit on Mechaba all day and hit him with back row, hit him with hand traps, and just kind of combine 2 really strong one-of engines to make a really good deck, in my opinion, for this format. You could also just straight up play Tri-Brigade Zoo. Tri-Brigade Zoo absolutely 100% works. This is almost the same deck as the other Invoke deck, so I'm not going to go too far into it. You basically take out all the Invoke cards. We're going to keep the Dogmatica, and we're going to keep the Zodiac, but we're going to put one of all of the Tri-Brigades here in the main deck, and then in the extra deck, we're just going to add one of all, Tri-Brigade Ferrojeet, Tri-Brigade Bearbrum, the Rugal, and the Shurag Omen of Chaos. This guy right here, or Ominous Omen, rather. And that will kind of replace the Invoked section. So if you don't have Invoked and you're more into a Tri-Brigade player, you can just play normal Tri-Brigade. I don't have to go over Tri-Brigade and how to play it for you guys. I went over that 1,000 times with you. Basically, just take the Invoke package out and put in the Tri-Brigade package. Boom, you got yourself a new deck, and you're going to be sitting on countless back row to try and win the duel, essentially, right? And then last, and certainly not least, we have Cancer. This deck is extremely cheap if you look at it, and does not play an extra deck, and we're probably going to see this deck quite a bit. You're going to play a lot of you can't play Yu-Gi-Oh monsters, so Jowlin the Spiritualist, destroy all special summon monsters. Neither player can special summon monsters. Banisher of Radiance. All cards sent to the grave are banished instead. The barriers. Neither player can special summon monsters except water. Neither player can special summon monsters except wind. Thunder King, Ryo. Neither player can add cards from deck to their hand. You can also negate an opponent's special summon monsters and destroy it. So by sending this card to the graveyard. Fossil Dyna, Fairy Tale Luna. Fossil Dyna makes it so you can't special summon if it's flipped up. Luna can banish and resummon herself over and over and pop monsters back to the hand. Inspector Border, which basically lets your opponent not play Yu-Gi-Oh! Dogmatica, Glizia, and then a whole bunch of back row, whatever you want to play. We've got Dark Hole, Raigeki, Monster Reborn, Card of Demise to add more cards, Pot of Duality to add more cards, Desires to add more cards, Extravagance to add more cards, Lightning Storm to blow up your opponent's back row, Pot of Prosperity to add more cards, the Moon Mirror Shield, which is a crazy broken card in these types of formats that always gives you 100 more attack than your opponent, so they can't get over your monster. The Seal of Orichalcos, so you're not special summoning monsters, so why not give him 500 attack? Yes, that's how far we're going in with this. Dimensional Fissure. PN Prismo, make your cards undestructible for that turn. Dimensional Fissure to banish. Mirror Force, Torrential, Starlight Road. It's just a whole bunch of Cancer back row that I'm going to quickly click through. You've seen 1,000 times. Dark Bribe, Solemn Warning, Solemn Strike, Macrocosmos, and the Phantom Knight Swords. The entire strategy is to bring out one of these crazy monsters and then hella protect it with your traps while your opponent can't summon or do anything, and just keep swinging until you win the duel. This will probably be the Cancer / True Draco / Eldritch of this format. I'm sorry for bringing it upon you all, but there it is. There it is for you. Those are the 5 decks that I think will do very, very well in the upcoming Limit 1 Festival. I will probably try and play some of these decks on stream when the festival goes live here very, very soon. I believe it goes live on the 16th. Make sure to check out the Twitch channel for that. I don't know if we're going to do any tournaments or anything for it, but it could be pretty fun. I do think, yep, there you go. It's going to be on the 16th. Hope you guys enjoyed those 5 decks. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. If you want to see me actually play those decks and explain them more in depth, definitely check out the Twitch stream. This video is more of just recommending decks for people to use. That's going to be it for me. Take it easy, boys. I love you. Till the next video, peace out.